Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about the Subnautica 2 devs suing Krafton over a contract dispute, it seems like. We're going to be on a bunch of things. We're going to be on Dexerto, Reddit, and Krafton's website. It'll be all linked down into the description if you'd like to check it out for yourself. This article specifically by Dexerto is written by Jessica Philby. Thank you for the article. It'll be linked down just like I said before. The title goes, Subnautica 2 devs sue publisher after getting fired over game delay. Now, I'm pretty sure from all the research I've done, this is off of the $250 million bonus that Unknown Worlds were supposed to be getting if they push the game to 2025, or if they release the game in 2025. Sorry, not pushed. But the two co-founders and CEO was fired, and the new CEO delayed the game until 2026, the early access launch, which was a big surprise to everyone. And then there's a whole kerfuffle. Just before we get into it, I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. 95% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so I really appreciate it if you do subscribe, and you hit that like button if you like the video, and if you dislike it, hit the dislike button. I completely understand. Subnautica 2's delay has been met with substantial kickback from its developers, Unknown Worlds, who are now suing the game publisher Krafton. This comes after a considerable amount of controversy involving lost payment, fired owners, and now a lawsuit. Known for their work in Inzoi and PUBG, Krafton has been working on Subnautica 2, the sequel to the incredibly popular 2014 underwater adventure. However, instead of coming out in 2025 as many thought, the publisher pushed the release to 2026, supposedly costing the team developing it, Unknown Worlds, hundreds of thousands of dollars each. Yeah, that's the bonus that they were supposed to be getting. Now, to be fair, it was supposed to come out in 2024 initially, if I remember correctly, and it was already delayed once. So it's really hard to say whether or not who's telling the truth here. I do feel like it is one of the things of like, it's hard to trust Krafton and whatever they say because, you know, they're a big corporation. So I'm a little more inclined to believe the developers, but we'll see. What's more is that this came shortly after Unknown Worlds co-founders Charlie Cleveland, Matt and Max McGuire, and CEO Ted Gill were fired from their position shortly after Charlie confirmed the delay came from the publisher, insisting it was ready for early access release, but the decision is in Krafton's hands. Which makes sense. The big thing is that all three of these guys were fired and then the game was delayed, and we'll be getting to know more about that decision later. Now the situation escalated even further after Charlie Cleveland shared that they have now filed a lawsuit against Krafton. Posting this statement on the Subnautica Reddit, which we'll be looking at fully, Cleveland writes, "We are now filing a lawsuit against Krafton. The details should eventually become at least mostly public. You'll all deserve the full story. Suing a multi-billion-dollar company in a painful, public, and possibly protracted way was certainly not on my bucket list, but this needs to be made right. Subnautica has been my life's work, and I will never willingly abandon it or the amazing team that has poured their hearts into it." And then Krafton also produced their own statement on this matter, which explains the timeline was significantly delayed for Subnautica 2 and that the former leadership abandoned responsibilities entrusted to them. They added, Krafton believes that the absence of core leadership has resulted in repeat confusion in direction and significant delays in the overall project schedule. So we're going to look at that Reddit post. Lawsuit, a community update from Charlie. Hello everyone. It continues to be an explosive and surreal time for Subnautica team and community. None of this is what we wanted, but we truly appreciate the amazing support we've gotten from everyone. It means a lot to us, especially now. As I wrote last week, we know in our souls that the game is ready for early access. That's just how we roll, and we'd like nothing more for you to play the game. Game devs live for this, but it's not currently under our control. We have now filed a lawsuit against Krafton. The details should be eventually become at most public. You'll deserve the full story. Yeah, this is what we read before. Yeah, so this is what we wrote up before. As for the earnout, the idea that Max, Ted, and I want to keep it for ourselves is totally untrue. I'm in this industry because I love it, not for the riches. Historically, we've always shared our profits with the team and did the same way we did when we sold the studio. You can be damn sure we'll continue the earnout bonuses as well. They deserve it for all their incredible work trying to get this great game into your hands. Stay tuned, Charlie. Yeah, so what the earnout slash bonuses they're talking about is, I think, is the $250 million one. We do now know that the lawsuit itself is a breach of contract. That's the title of it. I'm sorry, I don't remember the proper legal term of like what the headline is, but they're suing for breach of contract. That is the official reason for the suing. That we do know that now, and I'm pretty sure that was broken out by Jason Schneider. Oh god, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but he's a big guy in games journalism in general. So I trust that he is correct in whenever he says something. So this is what Charlie said initially, and then Krafton on their official website said this. And this one, I've read through this once already, and man, this says some crazy things. To our 12 million fellow subnauts, okay, I didn't read that part out loud. Inevitable leadership change driven by project abandonment despite holding 90% of earnout for themselves. First and foremost, we sincerely thank you for the continued support, passion, and unwavering dedication to Subnautica. We wish to provide clarity on the recent leadership changes at Unknown Worlds, a creative studio under Krafton. Background and leadership change. Krafton deeply values Subnautica's unique creativity and immersive world building to provide fans with even better gaming experiences. We acquired Unknown Worlds fully committed to supporting Subnautica's future success. Well, of course you did, to be fair. Of course you did. We collaborated closely with the studio's leadership, who were central to the creation of the original Subnautica, to foster the optimal environment for the successful Subnautica 2. Specifically, in addition to the initial 500 million purchase price, we allocated approximately 90% of the up to 250 million earn-out compensation to the 3 former executives, with the expectation that they'll demonstrate leadership and the active involvement in the development of Subnautica 2. Okay, so we allocated approximately 90% of the up to 250 million earn-out compensation. Does that mean... Unfortunately, I don't know what that means. Is that the bonus that I've heard people talking about? I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it seems that the three guys were offered $250 million. We allocated approximately 90% of the up to 250 million earn-out compensation. Okay. However, regrettably, the former leadership abandoned the responsibilities entrusted to them. Subnautica 2 was originally planned for early access launch in 2024, but the timeline has been significantly delayed. Krafton made multiple requests to Charlie and Max to resume their roles as game director and technical director, respectively, but both declined to do so. In particular, following the failure of Moonbreaker, Krafton asked Charlie to devote himself to the development of Subnautica 2. However, instead of participating in the game development, he chose to focus on a personal film project. Now, this is the part where it's hard for me to trust Krafton what they're saying, because they are a multiple hundreds of million, they are a $1 billion corporation, and $1 billion corporations are willing to say anything to get what they want. So I don't know if I truly believe them when they say that they weren't doing it and they weren't there, because at least from what I know, while I haven't necessarily played Subnautica, I have been around people who have, and I've looked at the community and stuff like that, and these guys were active in the community. They weren't not there. So it doesn't sound to me like they would be the type of people to just not be doing anything for Subnautica 2. It doesn't make sense to me. So it's interesting that this is the way they're going with for Krafton, because it just doesn't sound like these guys, because Subnautica 1 was a passion project. The new game, the Below Zero, was not an expansion, but a development of that thing. And Subnautica 2 was going to be even more so. So it does feel like it is weird for them to say that they weren't working on it. Now, we have learned after this that some screenshots have leaked out about the actual timeline and how things were really delayed, and there is some things about that, but we'll have to just keep reading on. Krafton believes that the absence of core leadership has resulted in repeated confusion in direction and significant delays in the overall project schedule. The current early access version also falls short in terms of content volume. We are deeply disappointed by the former leadership's conduct, and above all, we feel a profound sense of betrayal by their failure to honor trust placed in them by our fans. Krafton's full support to the dedicated development team. To uphold our commitment to provide you with the best possible gaming experience, we made a difficult yet necessary decision to change the executive leadership. Subnautica 2 has been and continues to be actively developed by a dedicated core team who share genuine passion, accountability, and commitment to the game. We deeply respect their expertise and creativity and will continue to provide full and unwavering support, enabling them to focus solely on delivering the exceptional game you deserve. Now, I do believe them in this, because they bought the studio for Subnautica 2, basically. So it'd be really weird if they just didn't release it. So I do believe them that they do want Subnautica 2 to launch, because of course, why wouldn't they? Krafton's commitment to promises in rewarding employees. Additionally, Krafton is committed to fair and equitable compensation for all remaining Unknown World employees who have continuously and tirelessly contributed to Subnautica 2's development. We believe that the dedication and effort of the team are at the very heart of the Subnautica ongoing evolution, and reaffirm our commitment to provide the rewards they were promised. But the thing is, you delayed the game, and if the promise was for 2025 and you delay until 2026, then it won't be delivered, right? At least that's how I understand it. Fans will always remain at the center of every decision we make at Krafton. Moving forward, we promise transparent communication and continued effortly to sustain develop and expand the beloved Subnautica universe. Honoring your trust and expectations is a core tenet at Krafton. We committed to repaying your patience with an even more refined and exceptional gaming experience. Yeah, the thing with this whole thing is that it's really hard for me, especially, to believe Krafton, because it feels very corporate, first of all, but also it's hard to believe that these guys just abandoned it. But it's also like, it's a corporation saying this. It's a faceless corporation saying this. So they're willing to say anything to get their way, and I find it really hard to believe what they say. Okay, I have found the leaks that I was talking about. It was by I found it on Blue Sky. So Krafton has now taken the unprecedented step of confirming the leak is real and accurate in its legal battle with Unknown Worlds founders ramps up. So these screenshots are real. So Krafton confirms authenticity of leaked Subnautica 2 documents, issuing the following statement in response to growing speculation surrounding the development of Subnautica 2. This statement aims to offer and clarify and context regarding the current situation. The document is circulating on social media and reported by various outlets is indeed part of the internal milestone review conduct of part of the Subnautica 2 project. Krafton has confirmed portions of it has been leaked and now are being widely shared across online platforms and within the fan community. Krafton recognizes the confusion that this has caused. Given these circumstances, Krafton has determined that transparent communication is necessary and has chosen to confirm the authenticity of the documents. Krafton believes that this minimizes speculation and ensures accurate communication with players and take precedent. Milestone reviews are conducted regularly in collaboration with the Krafton's creative studio across all projects. These reviews help assess development progress, define clear objectives, and ensure that each project aligns with Krafton's standard in both creativity and quality. That this process is central to Krafton's commitment to delivering polished, high-quality games at the right time. Krafton will continue working closely with Unknown Worlds to ensure that Subnautica 2 meets the expectations of players who have supported the franchise over years. So this is one of them, and it seems, from what I can gather of these screenshots, it seems like this game was super behind in terms of the scope of the game. So the current version of delivered certain level of performance. So it looks like only the first region is in. One region, 12 creatures, 2 leviathans, 20 tools. Second region is compiled, it looks like it says. A total of 6 regions are planned. So how is only one region done? They've been working on this for like 4 years, I feel like. 5 biomods, okay. So no biomods, only 2 submersibles are finished. The farming system and mining and automation system is not there. 2 adaptation systems. I wonder what that means. Single and co-op mode. Okay, so that's at least in. Wait, so approximately 16 hours of core gameplay is not in, and only 1 chapter is in. Okay, so the game's content volume is scaled down compared. EA target. Okay, so this was 2023's Q2 early access 1 target. 3 main POIs, 4 main. So the Void Zone Kelp Hive, okay, Coral Gardens. So it looks like 7 Coral Garden POIs and Sparse Plains are targeted for the 2025 Q2 early access. So 2 biomes removed in this. Right, because these... Interesting, okay. And then 1 type of Leviathan that was removed, fewer creatures and biomods. Compared to Q2 2023, the number of tools equipment decreased. Custom game modes removed. 1 narrative delay with about 6 hours of content cut. So yeah, this is the big thing for me. 1 chapter implemented 8 to 10 hours of gameplay in a survival crafting game, which is kind of crazy. To be fair, this is the narrative, but still. The one good interesting thing is the equipment, the types of base building stuff did increase, and this existing existing biomod split into 3 separate functions. Okay. Changed to, and one of them changed to blight. Interesting. So it looks like this game is really behind. They cut a lot of things to be in this early access. And I think the weird thing for me is that this is Subnautica 2. I thought Subnautica 2, I thought it would be much faster timeline because I thought the game was going to be Subnautica, but a bit more. So I'm slightly curious and confused why everything seems to be so getting cut back so drastically. Like, I'm curious what they've been working on. Like, I don't actually know. I wonder if was there a change of engine? I actually don't know, because it does seem like a lot of stuff has been cut, and from their targets from 2023, they just didn't make them. They just straight up didn't make them, which is weird. So I wonder what happened, because it seems like this development cycle has been really rough. And at least from the outside looking in, from everyone's statements, it seems like it's like almost like everyone's correct. Like, maybe the 3 guys weren't really there, like the 3 leaders. But even so, and if they were there, like, even if they were working and trying, they were failing hard, it seems like, because like these targets aren't being hit. Now, it could be these targets aren't realistic. Like, if these are Krafton's targets and they're just not realistic, that could also be a huge possibility, because I've definitely heard horror stories of publishers having unrealistic expectations for when things are going to happen and how long something takes. So I can understand that, but it seems to be, I don't know, the problem is that we have no idea who's telling the truth, and it seems like, at least for a little bit, at least from the initial looking at it, everyone's telling some amount of truth. There's no one's just directly lying, from at least from what we can tell. So it's going to make it even more complicated. But I'll be keeping an eye on this, see if the lawsuit itself has anything when we get more knowledge about it and when it goes public. I hope this doesn't kill Subnautica 2, because even though I haven't played the first one, and I'm probably not going to play the second one, there's a lot of people who love Subnautica, and I don't want them to not have Subnautica 2, especially now it's a co-op game. I think tons of people are super excited about this game, and I want this game to come out, and I really hope this doesn't like slow it down even more, or just straight up get it canceled because Krafton decides it's not even worth it. So I really hope that the devs that are working on this are able to just push past this and just make a good game. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. 95% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so I really appreciate if you do hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to check me out on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. Comment down below what you guys think about this whole situation. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye everyone.